When you send your children to school, you assume your children will be safe there. But what if they were getting lost and you didn't even know about it? Tonight, the News 4 I-Team's Tisha Thompson exposes a growing problem inside special education classes.
Hi. Nice to see you. Hello. Hi.
This is Max, diagnosed 2 years ago with autism. This 5-year-old loves to jump, swing, and explore.
I believe that Max's normal state of being would be like when you lean back in a chair and you suddenly go too far and you lose your balance, that sort of feeling of disequilibrium. I believe that that's how Max feels when he's in a stationary state.
But Max's dizzying routine came to a halt when his dad, Greg Masucci, tried to pick him up at Walker Jones Elementary in Northeast D.C.
And I asked where Max was, and they said he was in the classroom, and I went in the classroom, and then they said, oh, he's out on the playground.
On the playground, Greg found one of Max's aides, but no Max.
I said, where's Max? And I knew by the look on his face that he didn't know where he was. And so I ran through a bunch of classrooms looking for him, and I couldn't find him.
Greg finally found Max on the other end of the soccer field near oncoming traffic. He would later discover this was not the first time. Internal records show Max repeatedly tried to climb the playground fence and wandered away at least 4 times in a 2-month period. But no one had ever alerted Greg or his wife. In 2011, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention designated wandering a life-threatening condition, meaning schools are required by law to take special precautions to prevent autistic children from wandering.
It is a leading cause of death for youngsters with autism.
Ann Boker-Gibbons of Autism Speaks says as many as half of all autistic children will wander before they turn 17.
So they might be fleeing something that a teacher or a parent wouldn't realize was a stressor. They also might be running to something that fascinates them, that they can't really articulate why they're fascinated in it, and they may not fully appreciate the danger.
The National Autism Association tells the News 4 I-Team that 1 in every 5 autistic children on the Missing and Exploited Children's website vanished when they were supposed to be in school.
We shouldn't expect our teachers to feel like they can't ask for help when they feel like they've got kids at risk.
Dr. Nathaniel Beers is the chief of special education at D.C. Public Schools. He's not allowed to speak specifically about Max's case, but says he takes wandering seriously.
We go out almost every day to assess the risk of students and whether or not they need additional supports in order to keep them safe, and wandering as a piece of keeping those kids safe.
But when the I-Team asked to see data on how often kids in DCPS schools wander away, DCPS admitted it didn't know. Of the school systems in our region, only Fairfax and Montgomery counties could provide wandering stats from the last 2 years. Fairfax says it lost 1 student when he left his classroom and was found in a remote corner of the school building. Montgomery estimated we have around 10 students on any given year at risk of wandering.
The compilation of that data has not happened for us, and certainly is something that we should start to explore.
Max's parents say another big factor, Max's teachers don't get the right autism training. Coming up tomorrow at 6, we take a look at the battle raging between parents and DCPS over how and where autistic kids ought to be educated. Tisha Thompson, News 4 I-Team.
Tonight, the News 4 I-Team uncovers a battle brewing between the parents of autistic children and the D.C. public school system. It's over where special education students should go to school. Some worry it's all about the money. And as the News 4 I-Team's Tisha Thompson reports, parents say their children's future is at stake.
Hi, Mike.
2 years ago, Greg Masucci didn't realize these would be some of the very last words his son Max would ever say.
I love Mommy.
So you could say things like whole sentences. You could say, I love you, Mommy. I miss you, Mommy. Now you're lucky if you can get a syllable out of them.
Max is now 5 years old, autistic, and no longer speaks. A downward slide his parents blame on D.C. public schools.
They don't have the facilities, they don't have the training, they don't have the staffing.
Multiple families tell the News 4 I-Team it all comes down to a teaching technique called applied behavioral analysis, or ABA therapy.
You break down what the steps are, and then you reward the child in discrete steps moving forward to the appropriate behavior.
Because
you got it. Nice job.
On the surface, ABA therapy looks easy.
Excellent job.
But all the experts we spoke with say it requires significant training, and if done incorrectly, can cause even bigger problems.
So in the reinforcing things improperly, it actually does more damage than good.
DCPS was non-compliant in all ways, shapes, and forms 7 years ago.
Dr. Nathaniel Beers is the Chief of Special Education at DCPS. Right now, there are about 670 autistic students taught by 46 special ed teachers. Those teachers receive help from 9 ABA-trained coaches.
I think we also are a program that's growing and improving, and that's hard as a parent to watch that happen with your child in the system.
Training is not a half-day in-service. Training is a certificate program. You go to school for it.
Kathleen Jackson says DCPS failed her son too.
He hit, kicked, scratched, punched, just would upend furniture. He pushed me down a flight of stairs once.
When DCPS passed him on to first grade, Kathleen says Sam couldn't speak, count, or say his alphabet. He wasn't even toilet trained. Kathleen went to court and forced the school system to place her son here at Aurora School in Leesburg, Virginia, a small private school for special needs kids. Federal law requires public schools to send students elsewhere if they cannot provide for them. But DCPS estimates it costs nearly 7 times more, $73,000 to educate a special ed student in one of these private schools. 5 years ago, DCPS had more than 2,500 special ed students in private school. Under Mayor Vincent Gray's orders, it has now slashed that number almost in half.
What is it? Nice job.
With just 2 years of one-on-one ABA therapy at Aurora School, Sam can now read,
Fast for 3:30. Nice job.
count money,
Yes, baby, come here.
and no longer tries to hurt others. His mother worries the better Sam does, the more at risk he is for being pulled back into public school.
I know there are lots of parents that have kids with autism that are battling DC right now because they do not want their children to be guinea pigs.
Dr. Beers says he will never pull a child out of private school if it hurts the student. And if parents give him a chance, he'll prove DCPS can now educate their autistic kids.
Families have to be ready to have the conversation when it's time to return as well, which is a very hard conversation to have, particularly for those families who have gotten out because we did something wrong.
The Masucci's have also gone through a long legal battle with DCPS and just received permission to pull Max out of school. The school system will now pay to send Max to a specialized private school in Rockville, Maryland. The Masucci's and other parents of autistic kids say it may cost a lot now, but it could be even more expensive down the road if they don't get the right kind of ABA therapy, because their children may need government support for the rest of their lives. Tisha Thompson, News 4 I-Team.